Yeah, Wendy's has about 6,000 restaurants in the U.S. and they're talking about closing around 5% of them. And that's about 300 stores alone across the U.S. If Wendy's can't afford to stay open, that's not just a fast food problem. That's a sign the whole economy is in serious trouble. And what's happening with Wendy's? Wendy's is planning to close hundreds of stores across the U.S. And there are a mix of underperforming locations, franchises, decisions, and corporate strategy. And all that falls down to the budget of Wendy's. I'm talking about from a corporate standpoint. But fast food used to be a safe job. Like, you could always depend on Wendy's, McDonald's, and Burger King. You know, the fact that these places are cutting back on closing stores and tightening up, that alone tells you the bottom line is falling off, you know. And what that means for workers, every store that closes is 15 to 20 workers alone losing hours and losing their job. Because you have to think about the managers, assistant managers, cooks, and the whole crew all gone without a job. And that's going to have a tremendous effect on the economy, you know, too. Because, you know, every restaurant that opens, whether somebody's starting a new business or you have a major restaurant like a McDonald's or Burger King, every time they make money, it pours money into the economy. So the fact that Wendy's is closing down multiple stores across the country, that's going to hurt the economy much, much more. And people actually depend on that job. You know, you have to think about people who work it as a part-time job or a full-time job. The fact that that job is more as a backbone job. A lot of people work at Wendy's as a second job, you know, and it's a way for them to survive. So if they are closing down 300 Wendy's at 300 different locations, that's roughly, I'm gonna say maybe 1,000, over 1,000 something people without a job. Meaning they're going to have to turn to the temp agencies, staff agencies, and even sign contracts, you know, without no benefits, no 401k, no health care, or any of the above that I just stated. So it's going to hurt. And that goes to show you also that people aren't eating out as much anymore. Like, people have cut back on eating out at Wendy's and McDonald's and Burger King locations, and even Sun Drive-In. You know, Sun Drive-In has seen numbers drop also. And other restaurants. You have independent restaurants too, like Italian restaurants and Mexican restaurants that's losing revenue because people just can't afford to eat out anymore, because people not making as much money as they were at one time. People losing their jobs. People just can't afford it. You know, people are struggling, so they're not going to eat out anymore. They're going to cook at home and have a good home cooked meal. So that's a sign right there that the economy has collapsed. You know, and Wendy's has a great history of, you know, producing and representing the community, you know, because Wendy's been around for over, I'm going to say 60 something years. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to have to Google that and look that up. But Wendy's has been a powerhouse in the fast food chain for a long time. And it's scary, especially a major restaurant, you know, like Wendy's, a major powerhouse like Wendy's, talking about closing down 300 locations, 300 stores across the country. That's scary, man. Because I actually seen other restaurants close down recently as well, but that's for a whole nother video at another time. But it's just something to think about, because me personally, I love eating out at Wendy's. I love their double stacks and I love their chicken nuggets personally, you know. So I'm a big fan of Wendy's, and if Wendy's see this video, I would appreciate it if they give me some type of endorsement deal too as well. But anyway, if you like this video, smash the like and subscribe button, man, because I'm speaking number facts. I'm stating facts. Every video I do, I talk about what's real, and this is real, and this needs to be heard because there's a lot of people out there that's not aware of this situation that's taking place right now. With Wendy's talking about closing down 300 stores at 300 locations, that's a lot of people that's going to be without work. But all of that comes from the effects of the economy, the fact that people just aren't eating out anymore, and it does get expensive if you eat out every day at a Wendy's or McDonald's. It gets expensive. It does, because you have to think about it. A hamburger, a whole combo, gonna cost you like $12, $13. Even the dollar menu, the value meal, isn't cheap anymore. Like, think about it. Think about the value meal right now at Wendy's is like about $5, $4 or $5, for a little small mini combo, like a $4 meal or a $5 biggie bag. Some people, even though it's not much money, some people just can't afford it. Some people just can't keep paying out $5 on a daily basis, because you have to think about other factors that plays a huge part into this, and that's a sign that the whole economy has crashed, and Wendy's, when it comes down to Wendy's, Wendy's was a job you can depend on back in the days, like if you was in college or in school and you just needed to save money for college, or, for something like the prom or whatever it may be, that was side money for the teens and the young adults to depend on. But the fact that Wendy's are cutting back, that's less jobs for less people. And that's the root cause, or the reason why it's so hard for the average American to find a job right now. Like, seriously, you have a whole lot of unemployed people out there right now. And I just broke it down to you, of the reason why, the root cause of the reason why it's so hard to find a job right now, because you have major fast food chains like Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, Sun Drive-In, and other independent restaurants are closing down on a daily basis. Like, every month, you're going to always hear about something in the news talking about a restaurant or a business of some shape, form, or fashion talking about going out of business or closing down multiple stores. But anyway, if this resonate with you and you understand and you can relate to this, please hit the like and subscribe button. Until the next video, I'm out. Peace.